Amici al cuore tassellato, ben ritrovati. Siamo a commentare con Michele e Fanton in questa puntata la gara di Southwick del Supermotocross 2023. Tantissimi colpi di scena sia in 250 che in 450, come avete visto o state per vedere. Per cui avanti tutta e adesso mi collego con il nostro Fantomas nazionale.
On top of the championship in his rookie season. Meanwhile, Tom Vial looking to win today's overall. Revs are up. Gates down. And a bad jump by Hunter on the outside as well. Vial, meanwhile, rockets out of the gate and has an easy motorsport.com whole shot.
Well, that was a close one. Hunter Lawrence got a really bad jump. James, you see that? Then got cut off on the start.
Yeah, but that was a heads-up routing by him by hitting the brakes. But Tom Vial, your first moto winner, and Joe Shimoda, let's see if this can a good start for him can turn his season around. Great start by Seth Handmaker, but Tom Vial, the man of that first moto, is out front again.
And look at the results left side there, saying 17th for Hunter Lawrence. That's again due to the outside gate, based on the bad finish in Moto 1 that was caused by the bike problem.
I love this start by Joe Shimoda. I had in my notes earlier in the season how this is a guy that has the speed to win. Seems like he gets better as the season goes on. If he can just get up front and run up front early, he has a legit shot to win this race. And one thing about Joe, he is going to give it his all. So this is going to be fun to watch. But man, Tom Vial sure does look sporty and so precise and smooth today.
Get the rider out of Japan here. Shimoda in second, behind the Frenchman. Then Hammaker third, Small fourth. Justin Cooper, your runner-up. Probably saying coulda, shoulda, woulda won that first moto. He crashed while leading. He's fifth. DeFrancisco, Hampshire, Poland. Deegan is ninth. Kitchen 10th.
Well, it's going to be critical for all these guys to just stay clean these first lap. They put down some water, so I don't necessarily believe it's going to be slippery on there. But again, just like that first moto, the dirt sticks to the goggles, and you're going to run the vision. So guys like Hunter Lawrence that didn't get the best jump, you got to worry about the tear-offs, guys falling in front of you. So while they're still together, it's going to be critical for you to move your way up through there. And Justin Cooper, look, a second is just as good as the first, so it's right in front of him. He goes out and executes, then he can win this overall. But it's a long ways to go, Jason.
Shimoda, this is the best start he's had since the first moto of the year back at Fox Raceway in California 5 races ago. This has been the problem for Shimoda. Hasn't got the starts As you say, JS, doesn't move the dudes out of the way quickly enough to get there. So now he has his opportunity.
Well, good thing about this, you don't have to worry about that. He's
That's
only
right.
one person he has to pass. You just got to not get past. And I spoke to a couple of guys at the Kawasaki Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and Joe's struggling with a little bit of confidence. And we're watching the opposite out of Tom Vial, a guy that hasn't even led a lap all year until that first moto, comes out and wins that first moto. Now he's out winning the second moto. That's the confidence, and Joe's trying to find that. So Joe's got to be back to that far East Coast and not your average Joe anymore in this one.
I want to ask you about confidence, RC. We see Vial put in by far his best race of the year and then follows it with his best start of the year. So those things connected.
Right, you certainly have to think that and assume that. Obviously, and for a guy, and we talked about it, a two-time world champion, sometimes all it takes is a little something to get that fire lit. And if that moto win was all it took,
everything's in front of me if I can execute.
And what I'm seeing, Hayden Deegan has dropped to 11th place. Hunter Lawrence, despite the bad gate pick and bad start, has rallied already to 8th from 17th. He's ahead of Deegan. So now Deegan is in his worst position of the year, while Hunter Lawrence is trying to make the best of it despite the bad start.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was caught up. I saw Hunter Lawrence get around Hayden Deegan, and Hayden was trying to pass some other guys. Hunter got around him, and when you got the first lap, everybody's trying to make their moves before they all kind of get tired. Hayden got caught up, Hunter went around, but Hayden looks like he's behind Hunter, so we'll see how he continues that moto and if he can make his way back by, because it's a good chance to be able to make some passes.
Hey, Joe Shimoda is not letting Vial go. He's got it down to 1.2. And these guys got a lot to prove. It'd be the first moto win of the year for Shimoda if he could get it. And also, Vial doesn't have to beat Shimoda to win the overall today. So we'll see how these riders play it. Got Hamaker third, Cooper in fourth. Things are not getting easier for Hunter Lawrence. He just lost 2 spots. Figure out why here.
Yeah, looks like he jumps in and kind of hits that sandberm, watches out Ricky, and Levi gets into him. That was pretty close to him.
Levi got a good drive coming out of that corner. He really did. Stayed low in the corner. Hunter got up on the top of the berm, and that pulls the bike down, pulls the engine down, and he lost that momentum. And as he switched back, he almost collided with Levi Kitchen. But man, I'm telling you, this guy number 30, Joe Shimoda, has plenty of speed. This is a lot of fun to watch these two guys go for it. Now, we talked about how deep these guys went into Moto 1 with their fitness. A lot of these guys were really fatigued. The second moto is just as worse. You sometimes feel like they can't go quite as deep and late into the race as you can because of the fatigue. So it's going to be interesting. The fitness is going to play a huge part.
Yeah, and I agree. And what I like about where Joe is confidence. Like, his motorcycle is plenty good. I've seen his teammates, Seth Hamaker, Ryder D, they've been riding good. And even points of this season with Joe Shimoda, like, he's been riding fine. It's just the confidence. So for him, being able to be this close to the lead, no one's really on him. If he's able to stay with Tom and possibly get around him, at least, like, look, it's more confidence. My bike is plenty good enough to win the race, and now being only 22 points back at the moment, the championship and everything's right in front of him. So I like what you're calling. I like Joe, as what you said, Ricky.
Well, it's interesting right now. They pulled away from Hamaker, but we're not seeing a charge yet from Justin Cooper, who really needs it right now.
I think a lot of these guys, if there's no pressure coming up from the rear, the second motor, Ricky, you kind of let it kind of come to you. Like, these guys are going to, the lap times are going to get significantly drop around halfway point. So there's no need to rush and try to save that energy so you can have some for the end.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think what they've learned from the first moto, maybe some of these riders perhaps never been here, knowing you heard about Brian Deegan talking about you don't want to fade. Well, maybe you want to pace yourself. Take a little loss on the front end and get a gain on the back end. If you go too, like I said, you go too deep into the red early on and you can't pull it back, then it's going to be too late. So you got to find that limit. I think these two guys running up front, they know that limit. They have plenty of experience of doing that. So it's going to be fun nevertheless. But it's a tough spot. If you're Joe, you want to get by, but at the same time, you don't want to exert too much energy because you want to be there those last 10 minutes when it counts.
Yeah, we watched Joe all year long have some just odd mistakes, getting caught up with the lappers. So for him, you gotta believe he's kind of riding a little timid. He's like, look, let me just try to get through this thing and let these laps come under. And I think if I do that, I'll be able to pass, because I've had just weird things happen to me. So I don't want to throw it away myself.
Now we hear that it's actually raining. I don't think you can ever get through a Southwick weekend for the National without some form of precipitation. It has now happened in the second half of the day. So we'll see how that affects things, at least vision-wise. Not sure it's going to affect the racetrack. Pro Circuit only has 2 moto podiums this year. So it has been lean times for this squad, and Shimoda's trying to get the moto win at least.
See Joe going to the outside there, and I appreciate him trying to go to the outside to make a move and possibly not follow. But James, you know how it is when it starts raining. Then your goggles become like super glue to dirt. So maybe he's just trying to avoid that roost, keep clear vision.
Yeah, and following the guy, you won't be able to make a pass. As long as it's okay to change lines as long as you don't lose time. And I think sometimes with Joe going these outsides, he is saving some energy, even though it's a long ways around. Sometimes you just got to go around the bump, but he knows if he's behind Tom, he's eating roost. It's hard on the breathing because you're getting roosted with sand, and you're losing vision. So I think a lot of that comes down. But maybe he can get Tom caught off, but if he makes a mistake, he's on the outside, maybe he can go around Ricky.
This is going to be wild right now. We've got a couple things happening. We've got this battle for the lead, but also you've got Lawrence and Deegan in 10th and 11th, so we'll keep you updated then on time as we watch this battle for the lead. Hard to believe our top riders in this series are in 10th and 11th right now as you watch the fly to leader cam showing Vial and Shimoda. Yeah, so we've got great racing for the lead. Not for the riders we expected to see Lawrence and Deegan back there outside the top 10. Actually, Lawrence just made the move on Ryder DeFrancisco to get to 9th. Yeah, and Deegan got around Ryder D as well.
And I suspect, like what we've been talking, when you got, especially in the sand, when guys are so close, it makes it really hard to make passes. And we're watching Joe Shimoda and Tom Vial. It looks like Joe is able to close, and then Tom would just kind of go around the inside, and Joe just lose a lot of time. So imagine battling guys in the back trying to do that when you got somebody trying to pass you and somebody in front of you. I think that's the biggest thing. This racetrack, and now the rain, as we're looking at the booth, it's starting to come down hard now.
Swole would be next up for Lawrence, who has climbed to 8th. Again, started in 17th, and that wasn't his fault. He had the bad gate pick because of the bad first moto result, because the bike broke. So turned a 25th grid spot to a 17th place start to 8th on the track right now. And Justin Cooper and RJ Hampshire are starting to close on Seth Hammaker. Hammaker on the 35 in green is in 3rd. And this is what Cooper and Hampshire need, because they're back in the title fight as well.
Yeah, everybody's kind of back in the title fight with what's been happening with Hunter Lawrence. As looks like Justin Cooper's going to try to go around the outside, which he should put him inside here, and then goes back out. Nice move. Unlike what Tom did, he went back on the outside to close him off. But yeah, all these guys are back in the title position, and they know that. I got to suspect with Hammaker, what some of those G-outs and those downhills with all these potholes and how rough this track is, if he has a wrist injury, it's got to be hurting him at this point.
Here comes Hampshire charging and trying to get Hammaker. Let's send it back down to Will.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. And RJ Hampshire, according to the team there over at Rockstar Husqvarna, this is the plan that they had here for today. Their weaknesses, as you guys know, that weakness for Hampshire has been his second moto. They've seen him, a lot of the guys have had a rough first moto. Well, for Hampshire, is trying to keep that up in the second moto. And team manager Nathan Ramsey told me he thinks really it's just he does well in the first moto, and then he goes out there and he pushes a little bit too hard too early. Patience is the word that he used. And he said he's been encouraging RJ in the second moto today to keep that patience. He said, yes, if you need to push, go. If you need to respond, go. Otherwise, just take a little bit of your time there so you've got something left in the tank. And it's working out for him, guys, right now.
Now he's not taking his time. This is back to the full send RJ we know. Yeah, he's pushing. Going after Hammaker. Hold on, we just got to mention we're halfway through the moto. 15 minutes down, a 15-minute phone call to Geico. You can make a 15% savings on your motorcycle insurance as we watch Hampshire putting the pressure on Hammaker. Up the inside, can he make it happen? Hammaker's being stingy with it, but we loved it. We saw the charge there, RC, from Hampshire. Here it comes.
Getting a little impatient right here. Hammaker running him hard, taking the good lines away from all of these great racers. And this track right now is so rough. Keep in mind, these guys have already went 30 minutes plus 2 laps. Now
it's hard to have patience when you're hot and you're tired. The only thing patience is RJ's running out of it. That's what he's doing. So nice move by him. And Justin Cooper is still right up the track. And we know RJ is going to continue to charge up. And I think this moto can end up well for him if he stays up.
Yeah, overall finish, that'll be a solid day for these two guys.
Here's what's wild. If we get the points right now, it'd be 6 between Deegan and Hunter Lawrence. Hampshire's only down 14 in the series as they run. Shimoda only down 21, and Cooper only down 25. That is the championship points as they run. RJ Hampshire, for all the early crashes, for all the bad starts, for all the mistakes, you come out of the first half of the year down 14 points. You're good. You're in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 14 is nothing at this stage in the game. I mean, obviously it's something, but it's a lot better than being 50 to 60 points back. And as we've seen, anything can happen today. And this has been a massive shakeup in the points for the point situation as far as this championship goes, which I love it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think the best part, it just brings, it's almost like we're kind of resetting this thing. We're halfway resetting to going back to Paula in Hangtown, where all these guys starting to feel like now we're in it. The best part for us fans is that now they're warmed up. Like, they know who's going to be out there. They got a good feel of the motorcycle. And with guys coming back, guys getting healthy, and now the grit part of the season, I'm interested to see what happens with RJ. Like, now he's possibly in that title threat. Like, how does anything change with him? Does the word patience creep into his vocabulary? He starts believing. I don't know. Does that bring Justin Cooper? You know, how's he feel? So even Tom Vial is back into this thing.
Yeah. Hey, good job by Nate Ramsey, the team manager, to preach patience. I get the suspicion RJ's been told that a time or two over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
To do it is one thing compared to saying it.
Nate's a good guy. He's been around a long time, worked with some great people. I really respect what Nate has done, especially with this Rockstar Energy Factory Husqvarna Racing team. He's been around a lot of great people, and I think he's a great mentor and probably a great team manager for a guy like RJ, certainly.
As we watch Cooper, as we expected, Hampshire's doing everything he can to try to run him down, and this is for third in the moto.
You see Jay Coop sitting down quite a bit here. Yeah, you can see the tone. I feel like just in general, these guys are a little bit more cooler and calm.
Yeah, that lap
not quite as spunky.
Yeah, he missed the shift over there.
Okay, so let's reset here from Southwick. You got Joe Shimoda leading this Pro Motocross moto, but Tom Vial in second, in position to win the days overall with first and second moto scores. Justin Cooper up to third, but under fire from RJ Hampshire. We had rain up until about a minute or two ago. Now I see the sun coming out, probably bringing humidity with it. We've thrown everything at these riders today.
Oh, that's brutal.
I feel like right now these are one of these moments, James, at least for when I was racing, that Joe is at the breaking point. If he could put maybe another second or two on Vial, boom, you get kind of like a comfort zone. Then you can maintain, where right now, if he lets Vial close back up, then he's got it. Then he's going to have his hands full. Do you feel he's at that breaking point, or?
Yeah, absolutely. If he can get through the next maybe couple laps, then he just has to start dealing with the elements on the racetrack. And the good thing is, it doesn't seem like Tom Vial's a really aggressive rider, so you don't have to worry about, per se, maybe it was RJ behind him. Then you would have to worry about the end. But I think it's just amazing what we saw from Joe. Being his confidence, probably the lowest point in a long time in his career last weekend, to come here and be back in the championship hunt and then winning this moto at this point. It's just, that's motocross for you. Yep.
Let's give you the motosport.com whole shot replay and show Tom Vial controlling this one immediately out of the gates.
What a jump out of that gate, James. Wow.
You talking about confidence? Yeah, that is straight up. I won the first moto. I want to be out front. But yeah, it was like cheating on my MX vs. ATV game. I just nailed that start sometimes. Yeah, what a great start. And I'm sure that's going to be a nice photo for him.
Tom trying to control it right now. Last moto win for Joe was the final moto of last season. You see, he starts in second and he's able to roll into the lead eventually.
You see Joe right there squeeze out his teammate Seth Hamaker when getting that P2 spot.
One last person has to worry about passing.
So Joe now working his way through lap traffic, and I think he's done exactly what you were talking about, RC. he suddenly put 6 seconds into Vial.
Like I feel like he's gotten to that point, like, okay, now I can maintain this gap, everything's going to be great. The only thing he has to deal with, like you said, James, is the elements of the track, some lappers, but also, you know, Tom Vial being a past champion in the MXGPs, he knows he has the overall, so he can kind of cruise it. He's got the overall as it stands.
Yeah, and with Tom Vial, like, even better thing for Joe, he knows if he even loses a position to Justin Cooper, he's all right. You know, once RJ creeps into this, then it becomes, so I don't know how aggressive he's going to be to try to catch Joe, rather than even if Cooper gets around him. But just pay attention to the guy number 4, now RJ Hampshire. I think Joe is going to have to be concerned about that guy more than the 2 in front of him, to be honest with you.
And also, if you watch the Thor battle box, that is Hunter, Lawrence, and Deegan. Lawrence had a nice lead on him, but the last lap around, Deegan was 3 seconds faster, and it's more that Deegan is running the normal pace, and Hunter ran a 2:24. Now, I'm not sure if he got held up, maybe he made a mistake or tipped over, but Deegan has a shot. What happened now?
I think that was a lap rider.
Yeah, that was a lap rider. Hunter's pretty far out there.
Yeah, I'm looking at the gap between them. It says it's about 5 seconds. So whatever happened there, let's see if Hunter...
Yeah, Hunter.
The next lap, I think Hunter had one bad lap and is back on his horse now.
Yeah, kind of what happened that first moto. Hayden was able to close in on him, and Hunter saw that. But you see how Hayden was kind of sitting down all the way up that face, and you heard his dad talk about, like, try not to fade. I think Hayden at this point, it's been a solid day.
Yeah.
You know, so I need to finish this thing off. Even if I finish a couple of positions behind Hunter at this point, I'm still going to be the points leader. So I just need to continue to finish this thing off, and it's been a good solid day for my first trip at Southwick.
You came into this points 11 markers back. Came into this race 11 points back. You're leaving here, as it stands now, with 5 points in the lead. And you got great experience. Now when you come back next year, you know what to expect from the Wick.
And now we hear Deegan has tipped over and crashed. Let's show it.
Oh, no. Oh, that's that right-hander. I fell there in 2006, I believe, or 5. Same spot.
Yeah. Kitchen got by. I think that's the only position that he lost. So that'd be one more point that he lost to his teammate, who had also crashed as well. Justin Cooper. He's gotten up to second.
Yep, Justin Cooper and RJ's right behind him.
Now Vial can't roll out here.
Yes.
He's got to keep the pressure down.
Yeah, event points as they run. That's the weekend's overall. If Cooper could catch Shimoda, he'd win the overall. Or if Vial loses the position, Cooper would win the overall. It's not over. Send it back down to Will.
Thank you, Jason. And I'm with Marvin Muscat now, who trainer, mentor for Tom Vial, obviously fellow countryman, fellow Frenchman. Marv, you've been with him now since the beginning of the season there. What have you seen in Tom? I know your belief for him to get to this point is there. He wanted a podium. We're looking at an overall win. Did you see this coming?
Yeah, honestly, I thought he was going to get at least a podium, you know, like he deserved a high point. But he had a few crashes, so he showed some really good second motos. This weekend, this is more his background, you know, living in Belgium for so many years. He definitely showed everybody great riding in the first moto. Now in the second moto, he had a great start, and now he got back to third place. It's going to be tough to get the overall, but he's in a good position to win it. Now it's time to really show what he's capable of. So yeah, I've been enjoying working with Tom at the races. He obviously has his program during the week in Florida, so I've only been with him at the races.
Excited for you and how this might roll out. Thank you, Marv.
Thank you.
Vial, yeah, he is going to have to show what he's made of now, because he's got Hampshire breathing down his neck, and that would take the overall win away. So this just got real tense, real fast. It looked like Vial was completely in the control, in the driver's seat, but there is Hampshire. If Hampshire gets him, JS, Justin Cooper is going to steal the overall win.
Yeah, and this is going to be a long 4.5 minutes for Tom Vial. And one thing we didn't mention is that, it's super hot out here, but one of the things for guys that come over from overseas, usually the heat gets so Ricky. That's one of the things they have to learn how to adapt with. He's been in Florida for a while, but it is hot. That rain has brought that humidity out, so maybe he's dealing with the effects just like everyone else, but him more so than maybe a little bit of everybody else.
JT.
keep in mind, Tom Vialle has won 24 MXGP, MX2 class GPs in his career. So this is not a new situation to him. But the tough part is I don't think anybody in their right mind would ever want RJ Hampshire on the prowl here. He's the one guy that will not quit. So it's really going to be a battle of wills here. Can Tom Vialle get his first win, or will RJ Hampshire's intensity win out?
Big battle and a lot on the line here. RJ Hampshire on the 24. He wants every position, every point he can get ever. But this point would be huge, because if he gets around the orange Red Bull KTM in front of him, it would take the win away from Tom Vialle.
Oh, that lapper slowed him up, but actually I think that worked out better for RJ. He was able to sneak up the inside, not getting that loose sand.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think that helped him out. And where RJ is really good at is any section that you can just bulldog it and charge it down. You're going to watch him close down on Tom Vialle, and actually a lot of these guys. But some of these other sections where you just got to be a little bit more patient. RJ seems like he loses the time. So it's been a yo-yo effect between those two. When you get close to that finish line and you get the bulldoze down by the mechanics there, RJ always closes up on these guys, but then he loses over here, RC.
Vialle's keeping him honest. He's kind of matching his pace right there. He's lost a few bike lengths from Tom. This is such a critical moment in the race. Tom, if he wants this overall, he's got to stay with it. He can't give up.
Let's show you how Justin Cooper got Vialle for the number 2 spot. Here's a replay.
Coop coming around the outside. Oh, then switches back. There's a crossover move.
Yeah, do the remix on him.
Go around. Hayden going down in the background.
At the same time.
But yeah, just keeps the momentum up. And then because he went to the outside, he put himself on the inside on that next left-hander. That was a great pass. Hard to do in that spot, too. He's using up a lot of real estate right there.
Now, there's one other way Cooper could win the overall, even if Vialle doesn't get past. Cooper would have to make up the 2.8 seconds and try to catch and pass Shimoda. If Cooper gets the moto win, then he wins the overall no matter what Vialle does. And you know those Yamaha boys are fired up to get those maximum points in the moto. And of course, Cooper would like to get his first overall win. Did not get one last year, does not have one so far this year. So we're going to see Hampshire, Vialle, Shimoda, Cooper push into the max down the stretch.
Yeah, I think the good thing for Justin Cooper, Tom is still pretty close to him, so I think that pace is going to allow him to make his way up to Joe, at least keep Joe honest, because he knows if he backs off, then you got Vialle on him, and then you don't want RJ anywhere near you at the end of the moto. So I think that pace is going to allow him to get closer to Joe Shimoda. Maybe he can do it himself.
Got it down to 2.1, so there's a lot on the line. Drama in the final stretch of our 252nd moto at Southwick. Tom Vialle weathering this storm from Hampshire, though. Hampshire was probably about 10 bike lengths back. Now it's 2.5 seconds. So good response from Vialle.
Yeah, he's wicked it up a little bit, and maybe he found a couple lines or was hanging back and making that last-ditch effort. Listen, this is for his first ever overall in the U.S. That's huge. So maybe there's a little bit of extra motivation there, extra inner strength that he is finding, really digging deep here late in the toughest part of the race. This is the second moto. They've endured a lot of hard racing all day long. This track is brutal. G-outs, braking bumps, accelerating bumps, the deep sand. These guys are doing overtime today.
He has left Hampshire behind. Oh, Justin Cooper was doing it. He had got within sight of Shimoda, and then he goes down. And here comes Vialle.
Yeah, that was a tough one. One of the keys that we were talking about in practice, not to bury yourself in these corners. And Justin Cooper, you got to give him hope. Like, he was doing his best to get close to Joe, RC.
Yeah, what happened right there possibly was Joe pushed the corner out a little bit, and then maybe Justin went in there and he couldn't see because of all the roost, and the berm might have been pushed out already in this. Oh, man.
So how about this? Joe Shimoda now with a large lead. Pro Motocross from Southwick. Justin Cooper was making a late bid to get the moto and overall win, but then he went down in a corner.
I'm going to eat some sushi tonight. I don't know about you guys.
He must didn't like my average Joe, because this ain't an average ride. I told him last week, where you at, Joe? I got to step back up. But again, we're watching a guy with confidence just kind of grow. Good to see, and good for even Mitch Payton. But you know what? Every time we were like, RJ,
no,
he's way back, then he just pops
right
back.
back. Knocking at the door.
Yeah, he's back in here. He said,
Cooper can still win the overall.
I had to lock. I lost my key. I went around back.
I'm calling it. I'm calling Fireball Hampshire from now on. He'll just throw everything he's got at you. Former pitcher, was a high school baseball pitcher, then decided to go full focus on motocross. He is not done.
Was he known for his fastball?
Well, what do you think? It's RJ Hampshire. He probably only had that. Just give him the heat all the time.
I'm going with the slider.
Change up.
Oh, man. So Hunter Lawrence, as we're trying to update this top four with the overall imbalance, Hunter has caught Jalek Swoll, as you watch the Thor Battle Box, for 7. Each position back here for Hunter is 1 championship point. He'll take any that he can get. He's got a shot at Swoll with a lap and a half to go. Yeah,
Hunter's got an opportunity to get maybe 2 guys with Max Boland only 2 seconds in front of Jalek Swoll. So maybe Hunter can pick up 2 points, 2 championship points, and the way this season's going, you need all of them. And
look at this. Look at Hampshire's right there. Forget the Russo now. He'll take all of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I saw maybe RJ didn't have goggles on. That would just make it more impressive. That'd be more RJ-ish.
Oh, bad line through that section. Lost a ton of ground.
Yeah, he lost a ton of ground right there.
JT, what happened?
Well, you guys nailed it. He has lost his goggles, and that's going to make the job that much tougher because even if he gets to the back of him, good luck seeing a way to get around him. So he's going to have to make a move all at once, get to the back of him, and go right by him. Otherwise, he's going to get sprayed in the face with a lot of sand.
That kind of infamous uphill roller section got him, Marcy.
Yeah, it's so brutal, and there was a lapper there, and if you miss your line or you get on the top of the berm, then I think he faded over to the other side, and like I said, he has no goggles. I'm sure the fatigue has set in. We got 1 more lap to go. I mean, these guys are on the rivet.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he couldn't see. Who knows? But, you know, RJ's like, who needs eyes? I don't need eyes. I got this. So I need a right hand if I can twist the throttle. I'm good.
We've seen the guy offer to check himself out of a hospital to go race. He tore his ACL, came back and won a moto like 3 months later. He doesn't care.
And you're probably going to watch him pop into the frame again.
Meanwhile, Joe Shimoda looking for his first moto win of the year. It's a wild stat. The only Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider to get on the podium in the last 3 years is Shimoda, and he's looking to do it for the first time this year. He'd be 3rd overall with a 6-1. Final lap, meanwhile, for Vial to be the overall winner with a 1-3.
Yeah, Tom's going to have to be very precise, and if anything, maybe slow up and roost RJ.
It's going to be really hard for RJ to make a move. He's going to have to be completely somewhere different. He can't be right behind him because he has no goggles. He's going to have to be on the opposite side of the track, and he's going to have to go full send here.
If it was anybody but RJ, I'd be like, yes. No, but I'm telling you, he doesn't need eyes. He don't need any of that. He just needs to get up to him. And you got to give the guy credit because he never gives up. And when Tom looked back over that finish line, he was like, oh, I got a gap. He looks back, he's going to see 2 white eyeballs just looking straight at him because he's coming.
So Shimoda's looking for the moto win. That should be 3rd overall. Will the winner be Vial or Cooper? It might come down to this. Cooper's not going to catch Shimoda after the tip over, but Hampshire's not going to give up on getting Vial. The 250 class is back to what it normally is, wide open.
And there's a key point to this race. After this section, if RJ can stay close to him, this is that section where like you can let it hang out, where Joe Shimoda's going down. Once you go down and up over this,
go for it.
Yeah, RJ is probably going to let off the brakes, and you're going to see man dog this thing. And if he has a chance to get around Tom, it's going to be right in this section right here.
Cooper was hanging tough, trying to get back to Shimoda for a second, but now it's stabilized back at 3.2. So this is exactly what Joe Shimoda needed. It won't be the overall win, but a moto win. He just needed any sort of confidence or momentum. He's got it now, and with a crazy day, he's back in the title fight as well. Joe Shimoda wins his first moto of the season, the second moto at Southwick. There is Cooper. There is Vial, who will win the overall for the first time here in America. Give you the 450 highlights from the Southwick National. This is Jet Lawrence signing autographs, and of course I'm sure answering a lot of, hey, can you be perfect this year questions, because he was 10-0 on motos coming into the day. 450 Moto 1, I thought he was going to get the whole shot, but watch Chase Sexton with the mint jersey.
Yeah, Jet it looked like he had the whole shot, but he kind of slowed up a little bit. quicker, allowed Chase Sexton to make his way to get the whole shot. Jet slacking, he didn't get the whole shot, but made his way around Chase. Chase jumps a little bit farther than Chase and uses momentum to get around Marcy.
I wonder if Chase missed that inside line right there and going up those rollers, left the door open. That was an opportunity for Jet to get by, and he took it, I feel like.
Oh, he took it all right.
Oh, yeah, he did, yeah.
Dylan Ferrandis going to work now on Plessinger and Masterpool. So the Frenchman is in fifth, the number 14. And here comes some passes.
That was a good battle in there.
Yeah, that was a good battle. You know, you can tell Dylan was trying to get around both of these guys. And what you don't see, Ty with the disrespect to Dylan. And Dylan was coming in high. And Ty was trying his best to hold him off, but Dylan had other plans. He was moving forward. With a little wave right there, too.
Gets into third. Sexton tried to put a dent in Lawrence's lead for a few laps. She had a little bit of tension there, and then Lawrence does what he does, figures out what he needs to do, pulls back away, and this makes 11 moto wins in a row to start his 450 career. And now we are officially halfway through the season. We go to moto number 2, and it's Ferrandis with the start, JS.
Yeah, another great start by Dylan Ferrandis, and just like the first moto, Jet tries to lean in on Dylan. He thought better of that, but he was able to execute, jump a little bit farther, just what he did on his teammate, and that was pretty much the last they saw him.
Ferrandis in second, and then the watch goes out for Sexton. You see him at the top of the screen, about fifth behind Plessinger and Cianciarulo, and he goes to work.
He does. He made a couple quick passes. He got by Adam Cianciarulo, and then now Aaron Plessinger, excuse me. Then he'll catch up to the 14 of Dylan Ferrandis, get by, and he made a small charge up towards Jet Lawrence. Just wasn't able to close that gap there, but this was a defying pass. Grabs a handful of throttle, goes just full commitment mode on an extremely rough straightaway. I love that pass by Chase Sexton.
And again, he would try to put a dent into Lawrence's lead. You never know how much is management from Lawrence or not. Everybody was tired at the end, but by then Lawrence had pulled back away, and he had, another 1-1 sweep in hand, and that keeps the perfection streak alive. 12-0 on a 450. Best of the world, 18 Jet. Kind of hard to argue with the facts right now. Jet Lawrence on top at Southwick. Ferrandis and Sexton joining him on the podium. We'll show you the results. Plessinger will end up fourth. Marchbank's fifth. Boutrong really strong late in the motos, sixth. Canning, the local Southwick native, seventh. Cianciarulo, Masterpole, and Anderson in the top 10 on a brutal day, especially that second moto.
E amici, come promesso, come tutti i fine settimana o inizio settimana o metà settimana, sono in compagnia del grandissimo Michele Fanton. Ciao Michele.
Ciao Adriano, ciao a tutti. È sempre un piacere essere qui con voi.
È sempre un piacere, e poi è bello vederti abbronzato perché hai lavorato appunto sulla pista tutto il giorno. Penso in questi giorni ci sono tante cose da fare lì all'Ovolo, per cui sei super impegnato, per cui ti ringrazio per la disponibilità.
Ma ci mancherebbe il tempo, ecco. Sempre.
Partiamo subito con la gara di Southwick, settima gara appunto del campionato Supermotocross 2023. Grandi colpi di scena nella 250 con la prima vittoria americana di Tom Vial. Cosa dici?
Finalmente, io dico che finalmente abbiamo questo nostro campione europeo, nostro tra virgolette europeo, che è andato a fare questa avventura in America, dove effettivamente ha dimostrato, diciamo, quello che era il suo valore, le sue capacità, la sua velocità, soprattutto nell'outdoor. In un contesto di una pista sabbiosa, e lui effettivamente ha fatto un po' di differenza subito, perché ha detto che si è trovato subito a suo agio ricordava i grandi allenamenti che faceva l'Hommel, per cui ecco, puoi capire quello che diciamo questa pista ha dimostrato, che comunque Tom Vialle è della partita dei migliori, ha fatto un bellissimo primo posto, conquistato veramente con determinazione, guidando bene, non facendo errori, anche perché i suoi avversari.
L'avevamo previsto, di Tom Vialle che veniva fuori, poi su una pista veramente tecnica, molto molto difficile, bucatissima, abbiamo visto tantissimi colpi di scena e molti piloti veramente in difficoltà, anche con distacchi importanti poi, tra
Sì.
parentesi.
Tra l'altro c'è stata una grave battuta arresto di Hunter Lawrence dove ha rotto la moto,
Nella prima manche.
non stava lottando con i primi, però comunque ha perso dei punti importanti per la classifica e il motore evidentemente è andato a KO, si è fermato, moto fumante e Tom Bianco è contento che è andato a vincere e così anche Diga ne ha approfittato perché non ha fatto un grande risultato, ha fatto un quarto posto nella prima manche, però punti
E un
importanti.
decimo nella seconda, per cui non è andato benissimo, un po' di errori, e lo vediamo qua, in effetti tribulare con la pista, qualche errore di troppo l'ha pagata duramente, insomma. Qua vediamo il fermo di Hunter Lawrence che impreca verso il cielo, poverino, e dice il motore è andato, è andata così, insomma. Però, insomma, il Tom Vial un primo, un terzo e vince, duplice campione del mondo, non dimentichiamolo. Le prime gare molti lo davano, ma fa fatica, però la sua tecnica e la sua velocità e l'interpretazione della pista, cioè, non mettere mai in dubbio i campioni del mondo, che non sono mai ex campioni del mondo.
Assolutamente, poi è un ragazzo ancora giovane e ha ancora tante carte secondo me da giocarsi, poi addirittura nella seconda me si è partito in testa, però abbiamo visto Shimoda e Cooper avere qualcosina in più, anche se lui non è arrivato lontanissimo perché sono tutti nati lì vicino, per cui
Eh
insomma
sì.
grande merito, ha gestito la gara, ha capito che comunque riusciva ad andare a vincere questo, chiamiamolo tra virgolette, Gran Premio degli Stati Uniti e ha vinto alla grande. Bravo.
Justin Cooper che fa un duplice secondo posto sia nella prima che nella seconda manche, pilota velocissimo, ma anche lui penso che paghi un pochettino la pressione di vedere un Hunter Lawrence, e poi tutti gli altri che stanno arrivando come Joe Shimoda che fa un sesto e un primo posto meritatissimo perché è un pilota veramente tosto.
Ma dobbiamo anche considerare che c'è il ragazzino, il rookie dell'anno, Diga, che è un suo compagno di squadra e secondo me brucia un po' quella faccenda là, Cooper.
Sì, assolutamente sì, anche perché poi Justin Cooper l'abbiamo visto, e infatti l'abbiamo appena visto nelle immagini in sottofondo commettere il classico errore, però poi riesce a recuperare e riesce a tenere dietro nella seconda manche appunto un Tom Vial veramente scatenato. Per cui, insomma,
Assolutamente. Poi
una, una 2,50 veramente combattuta, grande scenario, la pista era veramente fantastica. A detta di tutti era la pista ed è la pista più difficile che incontrano appunto nel Supermotocross 2023. Qua vediamo la classifica finale con Tom Vial, Justin Cooper, Joe Shimoda, Jai Hampshire, Seth Hamaker e Aiden Deegan sesto e perde punti importanti per il campionato, insomma. Staremo a vedere che cosa succede nella prossima gara per vedere se riesce a mantenere la tabella rossa o meno.
staremo a vedere cosa succederà.
Sì. Possiamo passare anche alla 4,50 che anche qua, insomma, colpi di scena ce ne sono stati forse meno, abbiamo avuto ancora la conferma, ancora una volta, di un Jet Lawrence al di sopra di tutti, anche di un Chase Sexton, che non ha nulla da invidiare a livello di tecnica di guida, però ha sempre questo Problema che l'anteriore gli scivola via, vuoi per un errore suo, vuoi per un assetto della moto particolare. Tu come la vedi la
Sì,
situazione?
la vedo anch'io come l'hai, diciamo,
Descritta.
spiegata.
Mm.
L'hai spiegata adesso perché comunque Sexton, come dici tu, è un altro pilota che a livello di guida niente a che invidiare a Jet Lawrence, però commette sempre qualche errorino, ma evidentemente ha una forcella che per l'outdoor è troppo rigida e nelle curve evidentemente rimanendo un po'
Gli
alta
chiude, gli
si
chiude.
chiude e commette degli errori banali e non è che fa grandi cadute,
Eh sì.
scivolate che però gli compromettono poi quello che è il fatto di poter lottare con Jet fino alla fine, ecco. Per cui perde punti.
Anche, penso che anche lui senta la pressione, come abbiamo detto prima, di Cooper e di Hayden Deegan, sente un po' la pressione del compagno di squadra che continua a vincere, le ha vinte tutte praticamente.
Sì, sì,
Cioè, per cui grande prestazione sia sua che di Honda HRC, tanto di cappello, ecco. Jet Lawrence fa un 1-1, un Chase Sexton fa 2 secondi posti appunto in gara, un Dylan Ferrandis che sembra sempre lì lì per poter combattere ad armi pari e poi piano piano retrocede. Anche a lui non manca nulla, anche perché insomma il campionato outdoor l'ha vinto e un po' di esperienza ce l'ha, insomma.
sì. Però se guardiamo anche le classifiche, i primi due veramente fanno dei distacchi, hanno un ritmo nettamente superiore a tutti gli avversari, perché Ferrandis, senza nulla togliere ai suoi due terzi posti, è arrivato a quasi più di 50 secondi
Eh sì,
di vantaggio.
è lì il brutto. Molte volte gli appassionati non guardano i distacchi, no? È arrivato terzo, sì, ma terzo dove, come, quando?
Bravissimo.
La stessa cosa vale per Aaron Plessinger, che tra parentesi è un pilota velocissimo perché fa dei tempi incredibili, la velocità ce l'ha, guida sempre molto teso, molto come a un rodeo la moto. Non so se sei d'accordo con me o
Ma
meno.
diciamo che lui ha una guida molto più irruenta, più fisica,
Mm.
perché rispetto a Sexton e a Lawrence che guidano veramente danzando sulle buche,
Sì,
sulle difficoltà della pista, lui invece le affronta con più determinazione e poi credo che fisicamente abbia un dispendio di energia maggiore, però
sì.
comunque nulla toglie che i distacchi sono veramente incredibili, abissali. A mio modo di vedere, perché un pilota che arriva terzo a 50 secondi un classic che arriva quarto a quasi 1 minuto e 20 mi fa capire
Sì.
che il ritmo è leggermente
Sì,
diverso.
questo rende la 450 un pochettino meno interessante che non la 250, perché in effetti i distacchi sono importanti. Poi vediamo dei piloti, tra virgolette, senza nulla togliere alla velocità di questi, che so la fatica che fanno per arrivare quinti, sesti o settimi. C'è Merchbanks che arriva quinto con un decimo e un quinto e un José Butron sesto dove fa un nono e un sesto. Butron che l'abbiamo visto negli anni passati anche in MXGP non era questo talento eccelso, vuol dire che la 450 come livello dal quinto posto in poi, insomma,
Sì, sì.
manca degli altri piloti che sono ancora fuori per infortunio.
Eh,
Io la vedo così, mi dispiace dirlo, però insomma, questi qua sono i dati di fatto. È come vedere un Adam Sansarulo che fa una bella partenza, magari conduce qualche giro e poi piano piano torna indietro. Anche lì non si sa che cosa sta passando a questo pilota, che è già stato riconfermato comunque dal team Kawasaki.
Giancarlo diciamo che comunque lo vedi che guida molto più accorto, meno arrembante rispetto agli altri anni e questo fa capire che anche a livello psicologico tutti quegli infortuni che ha subito
Sì.
lo hanno un po' massacrato. Certo che comunque pensavo che nell'outdoor potesse dire qualcosa di più, perché comunque anche Anderson che nella prima manche è finito sesto, però è finito a quasi 2 minuti di
Sesto
distacco.
e quattordicesimo nella seconda. Per cui grandi problemi per lui. Poi vediamo un Time Masterpool che sorprende con un quinto, un decimo posto, con una moto completamente privata, standard in tutto e per tutto, e qualche modifica alle sospensioni e basta. Mi lascia un po' perplesso la 450. Mi entusiasma vedere la tecnica di guida dei primi due, la lotta che c'è poi tra Plessinger che cerca sempre di andare a recuperare quello che ha davanti e commette sempre qualche errorino. Però è un pilota simpaticissimo e veramente un personaggio per quanto riguarda la 450, è un cowboy. Per cui così. Allora, il campionato nella 450 non ci sono grossi movimenti, un Jet Lawrence con 350 punti, un Dylan Ferrandis con 269 e un Plessinger terzo a 246. Sansarulo, Sexton, Masterpool, Noren, Webb, che non c'è più, ha lasciato KTM, hanno divorziato consensualmente e sicuramente vedremo Cooper Webb nelle altre gare, soprattutto negli shootout con Yamaha Star Racing.
Bene,
Sarà una bella squadra anche per il 2024 con un rientrante finalmente, Eli Tomac, che manca tantissimo a questo campionato.
assolutamente. Lei Tomac era, penso, l'unico che avrebbe potuto contrastare l'egemonia
Sì.
di Honda e avremmo visto delle gare ancora più entusiasmanti, però gli infortuni fanno parte di questo gioco. Adesso speriamo che ritorni più in forma di prima.
Sì. Poi passiamo sicuramente alla 250 con Hunter Lawrence a 260 punti e Hayden Deegan a 247. Per cui Hunter Lawrence comunque tabella rossa, Hayden Deegan si conferma rookie dell'anno con una velocità incredibile, con una guida da 17enne, non ancora proprio perfetta, però grande velocità.
Beh, diciamo che il rookie si trova in una situazione che evidentemente non si aspettava nemmeno lui, la guida ancora arrembante, diciamo, con molti errori,
Sì.
molti rischi, qualche caduta, però comunque al momento sta pagando perché i risultati gli danno ragione, perché insomma sta lottando per il campionato e quello non bisogna.
Un grandissimo pilota seguito appunto dal padre, plurivincitore appunto dei freestyle, grande famiglia legata ai social dove sono presentissimi e chiaramente quello fa bene anche per quanto riguarda le sponsorizzazioni che possono e riescono a trovare per il futuro. Importantissimo anche questo.
Ah beh, assolutamente, però tutto è legato comunque anche ai risultati che adesso Degan sta facendo, per cui diventa il personaggio del momento, ma non solo per l'età, non solo perché comunque è giovane, per la famiglia, ma perché comunque sta dimostrando un grande valore, una grande velocità e i risultati alla mano, sono veramente esemplari.
Nessuno può dire niente su questo pilota, perché all'inizio era anche un po' mal visto. Molti dicevano anche in ambiente americano, sì, va bene, fa tanto show sui social, poi lo vedremo con i pro. Ha iniziato subito a smentire tutti già nel Supercross, vincendo qualche hit e comunque, insomma, rimanendo sempre attaccato al campionato per la vittoria. Tanto di cappello per questo pilota. RJ Hampshire terzo, Yoshimoda quarto, Justin Cooper quinto, Levi Kitchen sesto, Tovial settimo in netto miglioramento. Sicuramente questo gli darà anche una botta di morale e di orgoglio per fare bene alle prossime gare.
Dobbiamo ricordare che però Vial è mancata qualche gara per cui è perso
Sì.
diversi punti in classifica, altrimenti credo che
Sì.
sarebbe nei primi tre. Credo.
Bene, noi siamo arrivati alla fine di questo commento di Southwick per il Supermotocross 2023. Settimana prossima commenteremo finalmente, molti dicono, la MXGP, la MX2, dove spero ne vedremo delle belle, ma sono sicuro che i nostri portacolori faranno una bella prestazione. Tu cosa dici?
incrociamo le dita.
E avanti tutta. Michele, ti ringrazio, vi ricordo l'Ovolo, pista sempre aperta a che ora?
Ma adesso è un periodo estivo che siamo un po' tranquilli per il fatto che comunque il caldo, anche la pista è
Eh sì.
difficile da gestire. Comunque a fine agosto inizieremo i lavori, i primi di settembre si riaprirà, è aperta a tutti quelli che vorranno venire a assaporare le piste old style.
Old style, dove ci sono dei ricordi indimenticabili da parte di tutti. Per cui ti ringrazio Michele, alla prossima settimana e vi lascio ai saluti finali. Arrivederci alla prossima.
Ciao Adriano, ciao a tutti.
Ciao ciao. E siamo arrivati a fine puntata e spero che la puntata vi sia piaciuta come al solito, vi abbia regalato le emozioni che hanno regalato a noi e ci vedremo sicuramente settimana prossima per commentare anche il mondiale MXGP e MX2 dove i colori italiani probabilmente ci regaleranno delle grandi soddisfazioni. Per cui io chiaramente vi saluto e vi ricordo di seguirci anche sui canali social, su Facebook, sulla nostra pagina web www.motocrossmypassion.it e sul nostro canale YouTube Motocross My Passion TV, dove carichiamo tutte le puntate messe in onda televisivamente dal martedì successivo. Per cui buona visione e vi ricordo che Motocross My Passion c'è.